Hello and welcome back to the Dynamic Duo podcast. I'm very excited about today's episode because we're going to talk about consistency. Because once you figured out in what areas you want to grow, you need to stay consistent. So this topic is very important to me and I love to talk about it and to find new ways and tips and tricks on how to stay consistent. So I'm very excited to share some insights on how Armando and I are doing it, and maybe you can share some of your tips too in the comments. Hello, welcome back. We're excited, as I've already said in the intro, we're very excited to be here. I love this topic, and I think Armando is excited too.
Very much so.
We're always excited, right? So, as I've mentioned, the topic today is consistency. Can you share with us a little bit of your journey with consistency?
Oh my gosh. My ups and downs. Consistency is probably the hardest part for me in probably in everything I do. I have to master it, and I think I have it under control. It's not always easier, because to talk it's cheap. Words are cheap. In doing, it's hard. In a lot of us, when we have a New Year's resolutions and things like that, right? Okay, this year I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then by February we forget about it and we are tired and we throw the towel and things like that. So being consistent is, I believe, the key to achieving success. I mean, there are many elements. We've been talking about that over the last few episodes about that. But without consistency, everything goes down the drain, I think. Right? Because you can have a great idea, you can have, the end in mind, you can have the greatest strategy, but if we do not walk the talk, it's good for nothing, right? And
Yeah.
So personally, especially in my in my youngsters years, when I was young, uh, I mean, there are many reasons for that, I guess, but it was easy to get distracted. That was one of my major problems. To be distracted with unimportant things, with irrelevant things, right? That will lead me astray from that what I was doing, whether that was a sport, a diet, studying, whatever. A fly goes by and I will just get distracted looking at the fly. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to, but being consistent, I guess, it sounds like a redundancy, but being consistent and going back to the battlefield has been the key, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. I think when it comes to consistency, sometimes we're very hard on ourselves and then would rather give up than get back up all the time again. But that's actually how it works. Most people don't, or it doesn't come easy to most people to stay consistent with the goals and the good things, or the things they want to do and they want to achieve. But actually getting back up is the consistency. It's not I have to do it every day. It's even if I don't do it today, I get back up and do it tomorrow. That's where it comes from. How did you get from what helped you? You said that you got distracted a lot when you were younger. what helped you to not get distracted as much today?
Well, we've been talking about self-awareness the last two episodes, and that's the foundation for me, just to first to recognize I have a problem, right?
Mhm.
I have a problem. I get distracted. I'm easily distracted, so I need to do something about it. So being aware is the starting point, or was a starting point for me. Like to recognize, right, I need to do something about this. Otherwise, I won't, you know, I won't finish my homework, or I won't finish my project, or repair this or that, or achieve whatever goal I had at that time, right? So that was the first part, just to recognize that. Then one other key elements is to be accountable, to have people around that I can uh, be accountable to. Just very much like a coach in a fitness center, right? In a gym, right? A coach is there to push you, to help you move forward, to do a little more, to so in that sense, an accountability partner is very good. And a coach, a friend, a family member, a pastor, just someone there to keep an eye on you, not to micromanage what you do, but really, okay, in my case, for example, I had those type of persons in my life that I met every week or every other week, just to sit down to drink a cup of coffee, and just talk it over.
Mhm.
See what I felt, see what how far I've come, see what if what I'm doing is working out, what is difficult at the time, and to be encouraged, and so on. So those two elements were key for me, and helping me out to be more consistent, and to reach goals in life. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I think both are very important and very helpful. I think a lot of people don't want to have an accountability partner because um, then someone else sees when you fail.
Right.
But but it's very helpful to have someone who helps you, and it's someone. If you look for an accountability partner, a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call it, it's very important to find someone and to look for someone who wants to see you win and who
Mm.
helps you in a way that you don't feel like they're going to judge you whenever you tell them, because you have to be honest. And in the end, an accountability partner means nothing if you don't tell them when you struggle,
Mhm.
because you have to tell them if you struggled with one thing so they can help you with it. And you have to feel like it's okay to struggle. If you always feel judged, you won't tell them that you're not
Right.
doing good or something.
I mean, I think you're right. I guess that hurdle, that obstacle of embarrassment
Mm-hmm.
is a very hard one to cross, and I believe many people do. I mean, I've seen that in my life as a pastor, for example, when I used to do a lot of couples counseling, family counseling, and things like that. Uh, it- Usually, there was one of the two that didn't want to go to counseling,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because in their minds, that was, having to accept, oh, I fail. Oh, I am not good enough. Even though that's not the point of being accountable, right? Or getting a coach, or going to talk to your pastor, or a friend, a trusted friend, and things like that, right? That's not the point of it, to embarrass you, to beat you down. Um, but in a lot of people's minds, that's what they envision, I guess, no, then that means that I'm a loser. That means that I don't know to get out of my own problems and things like that. But the truth is that that arrogance or that fear is unfounded. I mean, of course you cannot, like you said, you cannot just like find anyone and tell anyone your troubles and struggles and things like that. You have to be very careful with whom you talk to. But that hurdle, that obstacle is very hard to cross for many.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's just I have a story for that.
Do you?
Because yeah, a couple episodes ago we talked about my running goals.
Mhm.
And I think I also shared that I was struggling with it for a few weeks.
Right.
And one day I was like thinking that I told that in the podcast, and I thought, I can't just stop right now. I have to keep going because I said it on camera. But it helped me. I'm back on track. I even
Hey,
went running this morning before, yeah,
before the
and
podcast. All right.
before the podcast started. So sometimes it helps. And even if it's like, I mean, it's silly. No one no one cares if I keep running or not. But for me, it was like, don't stop now. It's something in me sparked that I felt like I don't want to give up right now. So sometimes it helps.
I think so. That's the reason I for that episode. I don't know if you noticed that, but I created a special thumbnail for the video. The one blonde lady jogging around a lake in the Swiss Alps and things like that. Okay, that's Anja jogging in that lake. Around that lake. So keep it up, Anja. Keep it up.
Yeah, I'm going.
All right.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, but also I think what with that consistency, staying consistent with that goal for me also helped my why. I want to
Mm,
be healthy, and I want to move my body. And that's also for me a very important thing with staying consistent, is knowing why you want to do this.
mm,
Because if you just pick a goal out of thin air and think, I'm going to do this, it's going to be very hard to stay consistent, because
mm.
you're just going to give up once it gets hard and motivation goes down. But that's why we talked so many episodes about the values, because then your goals are founded in your values and your core values and the most important things in your life. And if you found them in something as strong as that, then you have reasons to keep going. And that's very important, especially when it gets hard, because it will get hard. It's just
Yeah, right.
that's the promise we can give you when you want to
Yeah,
do something and go for after a goal. It's gonna get hard, and you're gonna get distracted, and get you're not always as motivated as you are in the beginning. But when you have a really deep why, then you keep going and you keep pushing through.
that's right. That's right. I one of my favorite books. I believe I mentioned it. I don't know, in the past. It's the Mindset. Just that's the name of the book, Mindset, by Dr. Carol Dweck. Carol Dweck. I'll remember to put that on the description box if anyone is interested. But I love the book, and she talks about two types of mentalities: the growth mindset, and then I forgot what is the other one called, but that's like
Fix.
the fixed mindset, right? The fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And it's difficult to, I guess for some people it's very natural to have a growth mindset, to be a type of person that is not satisfied in a good sense, that wants to go to the next level, that always wants to keep improving. And they don't blame anything. They just look inwards and say, okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, how can I make it better? Okay, what can I do next time different? And so on and so forth, right? As opposed as people that I was looking for excuses. Oh, it's raining. No, I don't want to do that. Or it's cold, or yeah, or in German, I don't have a kind book. What is that? I have a kind book in English. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't know. I guess that's the best translation I can think of right now. I don't want to, so because it's uncomfortable. Well, that's life. Unfortunately, things sometimes are hard. And
Yeah.
but I guess that's the difference, because we all face challenges, and
Mm-hmm.
but if we adopt this growth mentality, uh, this growth mindset, then we can move forward and change our lives. For example, uh, a few months ago, a lady asked me, "Well, how can I help my kids
Mm-hmm.
to be more consistent, to be disciplined?" I guess she put it that way, which I think it goes hand in hand, right? Consistency and
Yeah.
discipline, right? So how can I help my kids be disciplined? And going from like really drastic and really, you know, from um, I don't know, from 0 to 100, from one day to another, it's very difficult. You can't do that, right? So the best way to do it is always really taking small steps, and we emphasize, start small,
Mhm.
and they will make big changes in the future. So uh, and we emphasize that a lot here.
Yeah.
And I guess one way to help kids to be consistent in life, to be disciplined, to have a growth mindset is allow them to face difficult
Mhm.
and responsibilities. You know,
Mhm.
to not not out not clean everything for them.
Yeah.
According to the age, as an example, okay, they have to clean it. If it's too hard, too difficult, okay, help them out, but they have to take the lead. They have to
Yeah.
feel the the hardship, so to speak, quote unquote, right? Not to give the solution right away or always, just like, okay, bottle it up, think about it, you know, uh, uh, try to find a solution. Let me know if you need help, but okay, this is your game. Go for it. And you just help them to get trained to get used to it, I guess. But some
Yeah.
adults, some adults need to learn that too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to be creative and problem solving. And that's a skill you have to learn. You can't just always yeah, you have to keep training to solve your problems in different ways and think of things. One person I know did this as a boss when employees came to her with a problem. She told them what's the solution. She didn't
Yeah.
just solve it for them. She asked them, "Tell me a few ways how we could solve this."
Mhm.
And that's also it's the same thing with
Yes.
employees, with kids. Think about three different solutions and then choose one, and maybe it works. And if not, then you have two others to try.
Right, right. Yeah, that's very smart. Like, well, tell me, what do you think? And
Yeah,
they throw that back at them. What do you think? I'll help you out, but what do you think? Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true. I mean, it sounds easy, but I mean, I used to have that problem in the past. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but when people came to me for advice, I was very quick to give a re- uh, what do you call it, a prescription
yeah,
solution. Okay, well, if you do this and that, then, or these are the 12 steps to happiness, or what, I don't know. But it's like, I don't know. I was wrong probably most of the time. Well, but because I don't think most times people need that. You know,
yeah,
they
yeah. I
just.
think, yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. I think oftentimes I mean, it depends on what's the problem, but if it's about things, about personal things or about the personal growth, it's, as the word says, it's personal, and your solution might not work for someone else, and that's why it's so important to ask questions and to, yeah, to make them responsible and ask them what do you think could be your solution. That's what you did off camera before this. You asked me what do you think? How could you solve it? And that's important, because even if you tell me, you can give me advice, and that helps, that might help me, but also I have to figure out ways to keep moving forward. And that's with every person, because it's so personal. It's so, I'm not you and you're not me.
Mm.
So advice is great, but if they find their own solutions, it's even better.
It's even better. And I guess that's the beauty of accountability, you know, if and we encourage everyone to find that type of people in
Mhm.
their lives, um, because sometimes we just need to someone to talk to, and sometimes we might need a couple. It might not be only one, you know, like in the advice of many, we find wisdom, I guess. So because different people have different perspectives, and they have maybe like different questions and whatnot, right? So I guess to be open for that is very nice. And to have those people, that kind of people around is a blessing, I think.
Mhm.
Because yeah. Yeah, I'm just reflecting on that, you know, how beautiful that is, you know, and that to one time, this is secondhand information, so don't quote me on this. but but uh but a friend of mine in Hanover in Germany here was told by a psychiatrist, or was a psychologist. See, well, don't quote me on that. It was either a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Told me that most people that go uh, uh, for a consultation for a psychological hour, I don't know, therapy, um, then most people don't really need it. You know, so most problems could be solved if those people had a friend to go every now and then and drink a cup of coffee and talk. You know, most problems could be solved that way, because people just need
Wow.
because most people just need someone honest, uh, truthful, loving around to talk. You know, and sadly, it seems that a lot of people don't have that people around. That's sad.
Mm, that's
What?
very sad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need someone to listen. I mean, that's what I sometimes do. I talk things through with
Mm,
someone,
mm,
and I'm not particularly looking for advice, but looking for, when I hear my own words, I realize a lot of things. So it's good
mm,
to talk to people, because sometimes even hearing something you say out loud gives you like the aha moment you were waiting for or you were looking for. That that helps me sometimes, that I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know. I thought, like, you say something and you're like, oh,
yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm. You know, one thing that I do with my clients is that I encourage them to record their own notes
Hmm.
after every session. Right? I mean, they are free to do it, but I really, really encourage them to do it, because I think that's very valuable, because of what you are saying, right?
Yeah.
If they take notes, if they keep their own journal of their coaching
Hmm.
process, um, that helps them go deeper and think deeper, and maybe like something like, hey, hold on, you know, like you just said, you know, wha- a new idea pops up. So I think that's very helpful, you know, just to be able to
Hmm.
talk, and then things spark, and
Yeah.
you are inspired to go deeper, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and sometimes you even realize things that hold you back from staying consistent with things, with your goals. Maybe you think you can't do it, or something like that. So if you say it out loud, you're self-aware of what you believe in the core about yourself, and then you can start to remodel that thought, and to maybe you have a fixed mindset in that area, and you once you talk it out loud, you realize, oh, I can change that. I can adopt a growth mindset in that
Mm,
area and really start to learn to think differently about myself or about this goal.
mm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I I was listening to you in regard to things that have helped me,
Mhm.
and I mean, I don't know if I'm going off track, but but I just think about one thing that was very helpful to me. Oh, what is her name? I forgot. The 5 second rule. Who wrote the book?
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. Thank you very much. And that concept was also a, like a gold nugget for me. To learn how our brain function in that sense, and that because we need to really hack our own brains in that. And that little hack is gold. I don't know, it's just amazing. The 5 second rule.
Can you share what it is so people who don't know it?
Yeah, it's very, very easy. It's basically that, right? It seems that like our brains, this is our Armando's version, the compressed version of it. Our brains thinks, or manifests, or you can observe the way the brain manifests. There are explosions. A lot of explosions happen in our brain when we have ideas, when we have thoughts, when we have connections, when we are deep into critical thinking and so on. No? So that's what's happening in our brain. And in those moments of inspiration, and I'm sure Anja and everyone else know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you're like sitting there and say like, oh, and you get an idea, right? And you get, or you get that an impulse to do something, whatever, you know, cook something, go for a jog, or write an email, or call someone, whatever. And we have those sparks, right? Hmm. And then if we let it go, we won't do it.
Mm.
We're just like, well, no, okay, well, I'll do it later, right?
Yeah.
So the idea from Mel Robbins, very easy, very, very, and everyone can practice it right now, is that if you get an idea, an inspiration, just act on it within within 5 seconds after you had that idea. If you say like, oh, I should come on, or I should call my friend, just then do it. Of course, not if you're behind the wheel. Okay, just be careful, just be smart. Uh, but I guess you know what I'm saying, right? Be smart
Yeah.
and don't take unnecessary risks and things like that. But the idea is act on it right away, because
Within the 5 seconds.
within 5 seconds. So
Mhm.
I apply that to some in my life in fitness and
Mhm.
in waking up. For example, when I wake up in the morning, I don't use an alarm. I haven't used an alarm in years, right? And and but I'm human, like just like everyone else. So if I open my eyes and I know I had to get up, but then if I lay my head again, I probably will lay down for another 20, half an hour, right?
Yeah.
So the hack works for me. When I open my eyes and I know I need to get up, I don't give myself the chance to think about it. So like, get up, you know, and
Yeah.
then I get up, and it works. So that's like a one little example how I apply it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that's great. That's a great advice. Just do it within the 5 seconds.
Mm.
Don't let the thoughts come that tell you, oh no, it's so nice and warm in this bed.
Right, right.
Because they will come. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming to the end of this podcast. do you, or of this episode, not of the whole podcast?
I hope not.
Yeah. Do you have one last advice or thought about consistency that you want to share with our audience?
Wow, that's a difficult one. If I had two, so I think it's very important. I would love to encourage our viewers to find an accountability partner. I think
Mhm.
I think that's very important. And then I'm thinking about the 5 second rule. I don't know. Choose. That's your pick. It's your pick. I think both are very important. But I guess at this very moment, I probably will say find an accountability partner. Find someone you trust. Find somebody that is wise. And this person doesn't have to be, someone with titles and riches and I don't know, you know, just somebody trustworthy,
Yeah.
somebody wise, somebody with experience in life, somebody that has your best interest in mind. Uh, Talk to that person and ask him, hey, or ask her uh, to to be your accountability partner. And we probably should do a podcast on that one because I think that is a lot of material to talk about. But I guess that will be my first word of encouragement. Find an accountability partner.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing also. And thank you for listening, for all those who were listening. We love to share our thoughts, and we always love if you comment and let us know what you think. Do you have experience with accountability partners? Let us know your wisdom, because you probably have some thoughts on consistency too, so let us know. And also, if you have any questions, any topics you would like us to share, just tell us. We'd love to make an episode just for you guys. That is a wish of you. So thanks for listening, and see you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.